All right, welcome guys back to my YouTube channel where I'm just literally just sharing my journey as a real estate investor coming from the Caribbean and how I'm navigating things. Um, Today, I actually want to share my first official capital raise. All right. So I just wanted to talk about the first time I raised capital officially. And the reason why I say officially, it's because this time I knew what to ask. I know the questions to ask. I knew the answers. I knew the documents because this was after I got into the mastermind on raising private capital. And after I finished that mastermind, like going through the course programs and everything, I learned like the right how to answer certain questions when it comes on to capital raising. Now, at this time, this was a deal in St. Petersburg, Florida. And someone had the deal. Two other persons got the deal, and they're like, "Hey, if you find the capital, we'd love to bring you on as a capital partner." And so my responsibility was to find the capital for the deal. This was like a three lot that we're purchasing, and we're purchasing it for like 300, I think 310 or 320. And we were purchasing it from another investor as well. Um, what I like is that for this particular deal, the approach was okay, if we can get private capital to fund the entire project, that would be freaking amazing. But we also had a backup plan, which was to get a hard money lender to do a portion of it as well. Oh my God, look at my skin. No makeup. Oh, yeah, sorry. I got distracted. But we see, now I lost my train of thought. But we had a backup plan with the hard money lender just in case we didn't get all the funding for private capital. Now, when we got this property on the contract, we had to put a down payment just to show this investor because they were offloading their portfolio. And when we wanted to show that, hey, we're serious. So even before getting it on the contract, we did our due diligence. We walked the property, all those things. We knew what the plans that we want to do with this property. So it was actually three lots that were adjacent with each other. So I needed a down payment and other related costs, which would come up to about $50,000. So what I did was I created like a one pager, and the one pager has like info on the project, how much we're purchasing it for, what we're getting, what the plans are, like the fine details. So what I did was that I did an email blast to, I had like a list of potential private money lenders, and this time my list was maybe like 50 people or less. And I did a blast. I was posting it in the different master real estate mastermind groups that I was in. And I was just searching for anyone who was a PML looking to fund a deal so I can get someone to lend me $50,000. I think with this person, I think when I sent the email blast, they saw it, they were on my list and they reached out. Or I think I found them on Facebook. But either way, we were in similar network, right? So we did that. And let me tell you, I think after we connected, we were doing a little back and forth text messages, and we got on a phone call. I explained the deal, what the vision is, and everything, what the terms are that we're offering. I think it was like 10 or 12% for 3 months that we needed a $50,000 for. And the reason why we took it for 3 months because the plans we have in place, we knew we could get the funding to repay him after based on the plans that we had. I also communicated that to him as well. This is how we plan to repay you the $50,000 when your loan is due. After that conversation, I think one of the things that helped him to make a decision if he wants to lend with me or not is that he asked for my track record, my experience, because we've never met each other before. So the deal seems good, that checked out, but he just wanted to know, who am I getting business with? Who am I lending my money with? So because of my experience and my track record, I think that was one of the deciding factors that helped him a lot. But anyways, after we had that conversation about the deal, the numbers and everything, he was like, all right, I'm in, let's start the paperwork. And I was like, oh crap. He said yes. this was my first official $50,000 from one person. If you had asked me before, I was like, that would be for me to find that would be, I can't believe I just muted the microphone. That would be so hard. But did the paperwork and I got so nervous because this, as I said, this was my first official one. So we were doing a lot of back and forth with making corrections on the documents. And I was like, oh my God, I wonder if he's going to back out. I'm getting scared. Should I back out? Because I'm like, is this really happening? All these things running through my mind. But nonetheless, he everything went well. I definitely learned a lot in the process, and while learning in the process, I was like making notes of these are the things I need to do. These are the questions I need to have the answers for the next time I'm raising private capital. So that deal raised $50,000. So that's a portion of 50. So remember, the total was about 320, 310, and I raised 50 of it. So now we need the remaining balance of it, right? This is where the work starts. So did a whole other deck, like a one pager, more details about it, update the numbers. In this time we had I had comparables because before I did not have comparables in it as well. So I had the comparables in it and I started marketing, and marketing meaning posting that template on Facebook in different Facebook groups, sending out emails, texting persons, hey, I have this. I'm looking for $290,000. This is going to be the return. I need the money for 3 months, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like nonstop, nonstop. Anyways, there was one person who was a builder. They're very interested in it. And they were actually bringing the fund in themselves. And they were interested in partnering with us for that deal. So we're like, okay, they're in, we're good to go. Let me tell you, this person backed out. And we were supposed to close. This was right in the middle of the Christmas holiday. So I think Christmas Day was being celebrated on the Monday, and we had to close the Tuesday. So this lender backed out the week before. So we're like, oh crap, how are we gonna find somebody to lend us X amount, 200, so much money, $290,000 in a couple of days, right? Where they don't think it's a scam, because a lot of persons thought this was a scam. They're like, it's a bad deal. Why are you rushing to close if closing is next week and you just need the funds? And one of my thing was, hey, I had a lender. They were in it. They were committed. They just backed out last minute. I have proof to show that they were committed. I should tell a story about that where someone called me out in my mentorship group because, yeah, I should do a story about that. But anyways, well, during all of that time, while that was happening, I was like, I'm not even gonna let this stop me because I need to raise $290,000. And the more we'll reach out to someone, they'll be like, hey, my capital is tied up right now. Keep me on the list, your list for the next one. But go to this person, they may have capital. So during that entire time when the lender backed out, I think it happened for a reason, because I learned to push myself even way more. And I got connected to other private money lenders as well while doing that. And I think there's one guy, so let's call him John Brown. John Brown, you know yourself. John Brown was the first person to lend me that amount of money. I got the $290,000 from John Brown. I shared the details with John Brown, and John was like, "Oh, I love the vision, what you guys had. Are you guys giving equity?" And I was like, right now we're not giving equity, but after the time frame, the 3 months or whatever, we will consider it. And John Brown was like, I just need to talk to my partner. I got on a phone call with John Brown and his partner, and the partner loved the idea, the vision, and everything. This was, as I said, this was a week before Christmas. So this was maybe like the Wednesday or the Thursday that I found John Brown. And John Brown was on vacation with his family. Let's put it out there. John Brown was on vacation with his family. John Brown made the time. He hopped on a phone call. John Brown got his partner on the phone too. And after that conversation, John Brown and his partner was like, we are in. Let's do this. We started the paperwork. And once they had a correction, we like made that correction right away. And they were on top of things. They're like, hey, Kalisha, I reviewed the document, but this is missing. And then our team will update the document, send it back to John Brown, and John Brown will be like, hey, we're good. To show you how I appreciate John Brown so much, John Brown was unable to send that large amount of money doing a wire transfer. So John Brown, remember I said John Brown was on vacation. John Brown left the hotel, found the nearest Chase Bank, guys, found the nearest Chase Bank and went in to initiate the wire. Like, talk about commitment, talk about dedication. Like, shout out to John Brown. I know John Brown, if you're watching this, I'm going to send you this video as well. Shout out, because you didn't question. I mean, yes, you asked about the experience and everything, but your mindset towards everything was, this is business. You looked on your numbers, and you saw the vision. You made a decision based on my experience. So shout out to John Brown. We've never met in person at all, and that was the first time we ever had a conversation. But John Brown came through, landing us 200, I think 270 or 290,000 for 3 months. And yeah, that was my first official capital raise, raising 310 or $320,000 in less than, I don't know what just happened, but yeah, that was John Brown raising that amount of money, helping me to raise that amount of money in less than a month. Like, if you had asked me a couple months before that, like, if I would be able to raise that amount of money, I'll be like, damn, now I got to find 10 people, 20 people to raise $300,000. But I did that with 2% in less than a month. And it goes to show that when your back is against the wall, you push yourself so much. And that's one thing I'm so proud of. I push myself so much during that entire time. And I think because we know that reputation was on the line, we had a contract, and then if we didn't find that money, we would have lost the $50,000. And we're like, we're not going to do that. I'm not going to jeopardize the relationship that I had with that lender that I just met with the 50. We did everything that we can. We even went as far as having a backup plan to repay that lender the 50 if he lost, we lost his money. So we had things in place for that as well. Because for us, it's like, at the end of the day, we want to perform, whether if it means us not making any money, but we want to perform and be able to repay those lenders back, because it has a lot to do with our reputation, and we're looking to build that relationship and borrow funds from that person again. But definitely learned a lot from my first official capital raise, and I think after that everything just started flowing. So yeah, just showing you that you can do it. And you can do it, meaning even when your back is against the wall, keep pushing up to the very last minute. If closing is Friday, keep raising, pushing to find a lender even on the Friday, because you can find someone on the Friday and you just ask for an extension. So don't give up. If you're looking to raise capital for any one of your deals, it is definitely possible. But let me know what you guys think about this episode, what you guys want me to talk about. I know I have some more stuff that I'll be sharing. Don't forget to like this video, comment below to let me know what you guys think. And if you're watching this for the first time and you haven't subscribed as yet, subscribe to this channel. So I'm talking about my journey being a real estate investor, being as an immigrant from Jamaica, of course, and helping persons navigate the path of the journey of investing in the US market while being an immigrant as well. So thank you guys for tuning in.